What's going on, knife nerds? Got the Kizer Cormorant with me today. 20 CV blade steel, frag titanium scales, with a little baby frag clip. I kind of like it just because it's a miniature version. Some people think it's ugly. Huh? I only like it because it's like a smaller version of the rest of it. But that's about it. And that it works well. Can't feel it much at all. But let's take this thing apart. Let's go over on what to do, what not to do. And you know what? Maybe during our journey, we can find a Ting. That'd be cool if we could. Now this piece, I've never taken it apart. It's exactly the way it has been since it's been out the box. All I did was Loctite it just because I didn't want to change anything. And you guys can tell why, you know. That's why. But maybe we can find it in this dude. So let's take it apart and find out. So this thing's T6s all around, T8s only on the pivot screw. I wish these pocket screws were flat and set. Instead they're the little curved, domed, lumpy mushroom ones. Alright, let's get the body off. Show side. So with the Cormorant, pivot screws on the show side. I like to turn the blade 90-degree angle. It actually locks it in like that, so the button's not actually going to shoot out at you. You guys will see in a second. When I take out the scale, the blade's basically going to stay the way it stay still, essentially. Watch. Alright, boom, take that off. This thing's loose. Be careful. Don't want that flopping around. Stay still. Alright, you see that? So the plunge is kind of pushing up against it, so it's not allowing it to pivot at all. There you go. Alright. Let's let all that fall out. Alright, so we'll go over the pieces real quick. I want to show you guys this mechanism real quick. So right here is where it falls into that. See that? That's how it works. Button lock goes down. Alright. Okay, so let's put it back together. So be careful. Both sides has these washers on the side, on each side. It doesn't fall out, but it can. So be very, very careful. There's couplings in here. I've never taken those out, never needed to, but I have taken these out and washed and wiped behind it. So just be careful. Also, this thing is loose. Doesn't screw in. All right. D-shape pivot facing towards the butt end. All right, so I like to start with the side that has the hole for the spring. All right. Drop that spring in there. Don't forget the stop pin. Okay. Bearing. So I like to position this thing right onto where the hole is right there. So then I can just kind of just drop straight down onto the spring. All right. Sometimes I like to press down on the spring to make sure it works. All right, there we go. All right, good. Turn it to the right, to the left, 90-degree angle. So now it kind of locks itself in. You don't have to fumble with the blade right now. All right. Don't forget this guy. So see, look at it's not swinging on you. It's not dangerous. So don't forget, put pressure on the pivot from behind so it doesn't fall out when you push the scales together. All right. And right now, this is where I like to check the button. Turn the blade, make sure it works, because you can actually close everything up and you don't check the pivot. And then when you close everything up, the knife essentially seized up. You can't even close it and whatnot. So right now, this is where you check to make sure the plunge lined up, the spring's straight, good to go. So there's some knives, some bottles that actually come with a nice ting already, right? Maybe not as loud as mine, but it's there. You can actually, you might be able to kind of find a stronger tone just by taking it apart and kind of turning the pin, what's it called, the spring, even the pivot. The plunge lock, and kind of just move it around, and then you might be able to find a stronger tone, because just that tone being there means that the plunge, it's kind of milled exactly the way it needs to be. None of these are going to be exactly the same, okay? That's why mine out the box sounds the way it sounds, while this one out the box sounds like nothing. It just happens that my plunge and my spring are exactly the way it needs to be. And this one might be completely far from being close to having a tinging sound, because I haven't heard anything. But some people have a ting already. So you can kind of actually tune in and adjust it and maybe find a better sound. Hey, this thing started with nothing. What was that? Where I think the sound comes from the plunge and the spring. It's like a bell. You can actually hear a ting coming from the blade, but it's not the same as this bell sound. All right? All right? See, it's not there anymore. But when I go slow, you can hear it. Oh, maybe not. There we go. Well, anyways, you guys saw it. You guys heard it. There was a little ting that came out. But you can essentially kind of find it. I guess it depends on the model you get, how it comes off the press. Maybe you're lucky like me. I don't know, but that's the only way that I can explain it. So this one might not have a real tinging sounds. So, okay. Anyways, you guys get it, right? If you have the time, try it. If not, just do. I don't know. Yeah, that thing's beautiful.